What's up, guys? This is Generic Minority with, once again, for Monday Night Raw review, my good buddy, Chase Oliver68. Chase, say hello to the world.
What up, guys? How's it going? Here I am on the Generic Minority channel.
Yep, it's good to have you back on. We're going to be talking about Monday Night Raw. It's crazy, too, because we both live on two different sides of the United States. I live in New York, you live in Cali. So, this goes up at different times in different parts of the world. Let's just
East-West Coast connection, man.
the East Coast West Coast connection. Oh man, dude. As long as we don't wind up like Biggie and Tupac, I'm fine.
No, we're definitely fine. I don't think I'm a rapper that's also like a really big gangster that sells drugs on the side that might get killed. So
Yeah.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, and I'm way too skinny to be Biggie Smalls. So tonight was Monday Night Raw. We had the Slammys, man.
Oh, great. Those Slammy awards, brother. You know, it's funny. When did they bring these back again? Wasn't it like 2008 they started to bring back these Slammy awards?
Yeah, it was.
And it's like every year, they just keep getting worse and worse. And I don't know about you, but this is just me. Don't you think, like, with the network, wouldn't it be kind of cool if they had it, like, at an award banquet, like they did in years past? I mean, you watch all these other award shows, and they have, like, at a banquet where, like, people start to sing music and stuff like that. Like, why do we need a wrestling show for the Slammies? Like, I don't get it. Because to me, this should be an award show. Like, that's to me one of the signals that WWE doesn't care about these Slammies. Because it's like, they don't treat it like it's official. They treat it like it's any normal task for Monday Night Raw. If you don't treat something that big, like your Slammy Awards, to be official, why should I care that you're handing these teams out,
I agree 110% because the thing is like, you're watching the Slammys, and if this is something I'm gonna address, is that like they for once, unlike last week where they were just cutting the commercial randomly, they were cutting the commercial to give people time to vote for the awards, which I guess is better by comparison. But
did people really vote? I don't think like the votes really mattered all that much.
The votes don't matter the same way the votes don't matter when it's like one of those Cyber Monday stuff where they're like, hey, vote for these opponents for John Cena. It's like, they don't really matter. I just think I remember an event in the past where I don't remember who the match was for, but I remember it was like Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, and someone else were like the list of people, and I know for a fact everyone voted for like Evan Bourne in this one particular time, and it was a big deal.
It was Evan Bourne, Jack Swagger, and Mason Ryan. And
there we go.
It was Jack Swagger, Mason Ryan, and Sin Cara, and the person was going to face Evan Bourne. And everyone thought, Sin Cara was going to get in because it's like, oh, it's Evan Bourne and Sin Cara. It's going to be a great high-flying match.
Yep.
But it ended up being Mason Ryan. So it was like, oh, Sin Cara, you botched again. Damn it.
Sin Cara can't even not botch when he's not in control. Oh, man. But, so Monday Night Raw is the Slammys. The Slammys, in my personal opinion, I know we were talking about it very briefly, like, they don't matter. They just don't. They're not an award. I don't feel like they matter. Like, it's not like the Vegas night where it's like Raw Roulette, where it's kind of interesting to see what quote unquote random event is gonna happen. So it's like the Slammys don't matter. And every year since they've brought it back, you always get the LOL Cena wins event, even if he doesn't win, he wins.
Yeah, exactly. It's like LOL wins, he wins at least one award. I was surprised he didn't really win an award. Like, I guess we'll talk about the awards later, but I guess Cena technically did win one, but he didn't come out and accept it like he normally would. So
thank God.
They definitely were backing off of Cena for this one. They found their new man, dude.
Yeah, they found their guy. We'll talk about that award later. So Raw opened up with Jerry the King Lawler coming out. He's talking, and he introduced Seth Green. First and foremost, Seth Green is one, a funny dude. Two, he's a funny looking dude. And he's so tiny, even standing next to Jerry the King Lawler, this like 50, 60, possibly even 70-year-old former wrestler, he still looks like a tiny person. He'll never.
He's like Rey Mysterio, man. That's like who brought their kid backstage or something. Like
yeah.
Story CW. Like I was like, who brought their kids backstage? Like that's Seth Green. He was so small. I was surprised. Like, I knew he was a short dude, but I didn't know he was that short. I was like, God.
It's funny too because I was watching Stephen King's It, and he's in that movie. He plays the kid version of one of the characters, and he's the exact same height as he was back in like 1990. The dude's like 40-something years old. He's like as old as Batista and as tall as like my 12-year-old sister.
Yeah, no, he's just short. He definitely got gypped when the genetic school was coming in. When he was
Oh
being
yeah,
born, he
short red
definitely.
hair. Yeah, he's done. He looks like Grizzly Redwood if he had got his life together and stopped living in the woods.
Oh, poor Seth Green. Well, look, to Seth Green's credit, he wasn't as annoyed as most hosts. Like, most hosts just annoy you. He was fine, besides, like, the forced jokes here and there. I thought he did a fine job. He wasn't the most terrible host. I mean, he definitely did a good job on commentary. I felt his commentary was, like, the best commentary I've heard in a while.
Yeah, he was good, especially on the commentary table. When you have people like Kevin Hart who didn't really say anything despite being a comedian, and then the freaking commentary table like jerking off Florida Georgia line the entire like commentary time. I mean, Seth Green was a welcomed return to someone being a celebrity or a guest host being decent on commentary at least.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad. Like, he did a good job explaining certain stuff for that Miz and Naomi storyline that we'll talk about later.
Yeah.
But yeah, he did fine. He wasn't terrible as a guest host. So if I were to grade Seth Green on the guest host scale, he's definitely like a. We'll say this is out of 5. I would give him like a 3.5.
Yeah, if it's out of 5, I give him a 3.5, probably even closer to a 4, just because he's been more interesting, especially for the comedians, quote unquote, that they've had on. I mean, you got Larry the Cable Guy, Grumpy Cat just slept the entire time, and I mean, you know, Kevin Hart was on. Like, of the people that they've been trying to put on that are comedians, he's so far been the best, and
Yeah.
I want to say he was my favorite guest host, huh?
But Kevin Hart was on. They made Kevin Hart unfunny. How do you make Kevin Hart unfunny? This guy normally is just funny by screaming around doing some stupid stuff.
Exactly.
Like, how the hell did Kevin Hart become unfunny?
Only WWE is like the M. Night Shyamalan of friggin' bringing on guest hosts. They managed to suck all the talent away from him. It's out of control. Like, so, all right. So let's just get into it because we'll ramble on forever. Seth Green comes out and he starts chit chatting, telling how much he loves being at wrestling and all that, and then he gets interrupted by the Miz. And the crowd boos the Miz violently, which is great. It's great for the Miz and it's great for TV. And as soon as Mizdow steps out and shows his beard, they lose their minds and cheer for him. So that was awesome.
These two are the best things. Right? I'm saying this right now. I don't think anyone will agree with me, but I don't give a shit. These two are like the most entertaining and best things on my television right now. I want to see more of these guys every time I see them. These guys are just funny. They have a good chemistry. It's something about these two. It's just awesome. And it's sad that they're going to have to break up in the near future to start their feud. But shit, dude, these guys are they're just great. Like, I love Miz and Mizdow. They're just fun.
They really are. Now, see, the funny thing about Miz and Mizdow is like, one, I always liked Damian Sandow, and I hated these gimmicks that they were sticking him in, you know, just every week something weird and goofy and kind of being like, you know, what's the name? Heath Slater-ish. And I don't like the Miz at all. But them two together with Miz and like doing the Miz thing as Hollywood A-lister and Mizdow being his stunt double. And before you explained the gimmick to me, I completely hated it because I was confused. But as I watch it, it's money. I say it every review. Mizdow, when he walks out, Mizdow is money. I say it all the time. It just needs to be a hashtag. It needs to be a movement. The Mizdow movement. It is really entertaining, and that's good and bad. Like a lot of other things, it's like a compliment sandwich. Like, here's the bad thing. It shouldn't be about these two people who aren't really a tag team or aren't an established tag team. They're just kind of a gimmick act. But in the middle of that, it's one, Mizdow's getting exposure, and two, he's over. But then again, at the bottom, once again, is that what's going to happen when these two break up? So
yeah, that's always the question with WWE. Like, the question is, where's the finish of the storyline? Like, we know the WWE every once in a while can pull up a really good storyline. See Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, this current Mizdow and Miz stuff, with Daniel Bryan and the Authority. But it's just always the question is, how are they going to finish the job? That's always the question, because they do a good job at starting something, and then in the middle they kind of drag on with it. But then somewhere down the line, you can get out of that drag and become really, really hot. And then the finish, it's either really something bad, stupid, or dumb. So the finish will definitely be interesting to this Miz and Mizdow thing, but these two are just great. I just love these two. We can go on and make a whole podcast of why Miz and Mizdow are awesome. Because, like, they are an awesome thing. And Mizdow is that rare character in wrestling today that almost everyone, generically likes. Like, I never see on Twitter, and it's probably just someone who is really, really upset and just like the most anti-WWE person of all time. I don't see anyone on Twitter hating this guy. I don't see guys that just bash the whole episode of Raw on Twitter. And yet when Mizdow comes out and does something great, everyone's just like, dude, this guy is freaking awesome. This guy is hilarious. Like, he is someone that gets that, you know, the internet fans love and the casual fans love. And that's rare in wrestling when, like, you're that type of character that, like, there's, like, so many people who love you, where it's, like, 90% of the people love you and 10% of the people hate you, you know, that type of deal.
Yeah, there's never really a good crossover of internet / common wrestling fans, and I think that Mizdow's got it perfect, especially after coming off not being able, just being kind of like an internet favorite guy and no one caring about him on the main roster. Now he's cared about on both ends, and on top of that, it's just like, it's crazy to see. Like, I thought when this Mizdow thing started, I was like, this is gonna be a thing that's like, it's a knockoff, it's a one-off type deal. He'll do it and then just be back at the bottom card, Zack Rydering the rest of his career, and they'll have wasted another talent like they've done with so many in the past. But I'm actually glad that this is happening right now. To answer the question of how they're going to end this feud and where this is going to go, I can tell you that the one word you need to know is poorly, because it's WWE. But you're going to watch for simply just Miz and Mizdow, and it's sad that they're the most entertaining thing on Raw for the most part, but they are, and that's why I hated that.
They're not just the most entertaining thing on Raw. They're like the most entertaining thing in the WWE, if not overall professional wrestling. That's just my opinion when it comes down to it. Because The Miz is just, he's just such a great heel. And I understand if people don't like The Miz for certain reasons and whatnot, but I think this guy, he deserves all the credit in the world for also with Mizdow, because without The Miz and who he plays as a character, Mizdow would not be successful. That's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. So I think The Miz doesn't get as much love and appreciation as he should. Then again, I am a Miz fan, but not like the hugest Miz fan in the world. I do like the guy. I think he's worked his ass off to get to where he is, and I think the WWE has mistreated him over the years. But he's definitely someone that you can tell he's a really good heel, because he's the one who made Mizdow into such a really good babyface. He's the one that exposed us to this Mizdow character and has done a great job. Like, I don't think a lot of superstars in the back would be down to do this, be paired with Damien Sandow, who's just a running joke. If you told any other superstar this, who's on the level of The Miz, hey, we're going to do this stuff with Damien Sandow, they're just going to look at you and say, that's stupid. I don't want to do that. But with Miz and Mizdow, it's like The Miz is helping Damien Mizdow's career, and that's why I always love and respect The Miz, is because The Miz, he always seems like the perfect guy. If you want someone to get over, you feud him with The Miz, and The Miz gets that guy over somehow, some way. Look at what he did with Alex Riley. He helped Daniel Bryan out with the casual fans. I'm just saying, like, I don't know why a lot of people just hate on The Miz. I think this guy is wonderful for what he brings to the table when it comes to promos. Like, wrestling-wise, he's not the best, but he doesn't need to be the best because of the character he plays. He's one of the best characters they've had in a long time. And I'm saying that, just based off my opinion.
No, I agree.
I just don't know why people hate him so much.
I always hated him, and I can speak from my point of view, is that I never liked his character when his character is alone. I see the usefulness of his character, but his character is really irritating on the whole. And usually he's going up against a guy that you want to like. Now he's on the side of a guy you want to like, so it's a little bit different this time around, and it's actually, one, I like it, and two, interesting. When he's going up against Daniel Bryan, you're like, it's the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. The Miz can't compete. Done. Hate The Miz. When he's going against Alex Riley, he's, when Alex Riley was on his side, he just turned face, and it kind of just was not necessarily out of nowhere, but it never went anywhere, and Alex Riley was a heel beforehand. Damien Mizdow hasn't been anything. He's kind of just been floating in the ether forever. So him pairing with The Miz and then still somehow managing, despite the fact teaming with the face, being a super over heel, somehow works. I don't know. It's just kind of like it was just a perfect storm of things to happen. And The Miz really is the personification of what everyone wants out of Cena, which is a character we don't necessarily like, is not necessarily the best in the ring, but when it comes down to crunch time to help a guy get over, he'll do the job, whatever the job is, and it works.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. We should start with the Dave.
I think we just talked about Dave Mizdow for like 10 minutes.
We really could. Like, there was nothing that really went on this Raw where we have to really go into full detail about it.
No.
It just literally was like, these two were like the stars to me. They got 3 segments. What Mizdow did in the match that they had was just freaking phenomenal. Like, I was laughing my ass off. Like, I was bored watching that 6-man tag. And then when Mizdow got into the ring and sold those 2 fake uppercuts and then freaking got into the suplex position and then did the front flip, I was dying. Like, I had tears in my eyes. I was like, this guy is just such a G, dude. Like, oh my God. Like, I just love him.
I know we're skipping around a lot, but when he was on the corner and Miz got clotheslined by Ryback and he flipped over on the outside of the ring like he just got hit by Ryback, that was the funniest thing I've seen on WWE in years. Like, the Miz eats a mean meat hook clothesline and Mizdow immediately, like, he's gotten so good at making it, it's immediate. He immediately just flips over and falls outside the ring. That's the funniest thing ever I've seen in a while in WWE.
This Sandow, Mizdow, whatever you want to call him, this guy's just a great entertainer. This guy's money, man. And I really hope him and The Miz go somewhere after this. Like, after this whole thing's done. Like I said, we know the WWE's track record when it comes to finishing is not really that good, especially in today's day and age of wrestling. But let's just hope they get a good finish for these two.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. But more importantly, well, not more importantly, but what was the point of Miz and Mizdow being out there is they were there to announce the This Is Awesome moment of the year. I don't remember the nominees, and I'm not going to list them all off. But the winner was Sting.
Yeah, Sting won. This Is Awesome. The other nominees were like Occupy Raw, Stephanie McMahon getting arrested, and Greatest of All Time, Hogan, Rock, and Austin on the ring. And Occupy Raw, it's awesome if you're like a Daniel Bryan fan.
Yeah.
You know, the Greatest of All Time, that's awesome because that was pretty much one of the greatest highlights at WrestleMania in WrestleMania history. But I'm sorry, Sting, we never thought would be in the WWE ring. Never thought he would be in the WWE. And so this deserves it. I mean, those fans were going batshit for Sting and Triple H staring down each other. Fans were chanting, "This is awesome."
Oh, yeah.
So, really, to be honest, this was a rightful winner. I don't really care that it won. Like, I don't really care who won these Slammy Awards. But if we have to talk about them, I will say that I felt this was the correct winner.
Oh man, we need to probably do like our own Slammy Awards for the year at some point, like before the year is up, because we need to. What I thought should have been the This Is Awesome moment was when Stephanie was getting arrested and you seen her chest flayed out like Kofi Kingston.
Dude, that was nasty, man. That like turned me off for like, Stephanie to me is still one of the hottest divas.
She really is, and I was just like, when did she like do the fusion dance with Kofi Kingston and just only get his chest? That is chest of the year goes to Stephanie McMahon. But so Sting won, but Sting won. But what was going on before that, which is I think they stopped this throughout the course of the night just because it happened in the beginning, which Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler had a match. And,
good.
At the end of the match, they announced the winner, and Seth came and took the award and called out Sting and things like that. But that's the only time that this happens the whole night. I think that's why they started cutting the commercial to let people vote or whatever before they started any matches. But that doesn't matter. So Seth versus Dolph Ziggler. My moment again. Few problems with this match. It was a decent match though. Few problems with this match is that one, it's not only is it the same thing as in terms of it's another Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler match, it's the same thing in terms as in ending, and not only with who won but how they won, and it's just like it.
It's like the WWE, they go all their way. Because like I've recently become someone who's liked Seth Rollins a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I used to not be a big fan of this guy, but this guy really has turned me like a 180. Like he gave me a 180 of what I really thought about him, because this guy's just been really good on the microphone, and I felt he's done a really good job wrestling as a heel, even though he has like a completely babyface moveset.
Yeah.
And it's like the WWE goes out of their way to make this character look so stupid. Like, why does Seth Rollins, the dude that I witnessed, take out Randy Orton, take out Dean Ambrose and all this other stuff, jump off freaking balconies onto the Evolution and do all this crazy stuff.
I've-
Why does this guy need help from like Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury?
J&J Security,
Like,
jeez. Like, that's the thing too, is like this J&J Security stuff. I get the point of them and why they exist. You know, they're you know, another bit of, you know, the corporation / the authority. You know, it's a rehashing of old things. But I mean, Seth Rollins, I watched him in ROH when he was Tyler Black. I've seen his indie stuff. I watched that dude do a backflip off a fat guy just standing in the crowd.
I saw that.
I saw that a while back, like not when it happened, but like around that time, and I was like, "Who's this Tyler Black kid?" And I looked it up, and it's like, to watch Tyler Black do a backflip off a fat guy, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" I looked it up on YouTube, and like, this is out of control. I saw it tonight when they were doing the Superstar of the Year stuff, but we'll get to that when we get to that. Oh, got thirsty. So Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, it's just the same match over and over again. It's not a bad match. It's just when you see it over and over again with the J&J interference, Joey Mercury pushing Dolph Ziggler down off the top rope and letting Dolph eating a mean curb stomp. It sucks when you have to see the same thing over and over again. And on top of that, it sucks to watch Dolph Ziggler lose, especially with him having all this like flow behind him. Because it makes me worry about his character. Because I'm like, all right, now WWE, because he's super over like he was back before when they wanted him to cash in at Mania. Now that he's super over, WWE all of a sudden doesn't know what to do with him.
I feel like WWE doesn't know what to do either these two when it comes down to it, in all honesty. I mean, like, these two, like, you know, the ladder match that Luke Harper and Dolph Ziggler are going to be having, it should be these two at TLC doing this ladder match. It should be like Seth Rollins is the IC champion and Ziggler's trying to get back what's his against Seth Rollins, who was supposed to be, you know, the corporation's or the authorities' main man. That should be like the IC title match at TLC, but instead we're getting like Luke Harper versus Dolph Ziggler, and we're getting Seth Rollins versus John Cena, and it's like, what the hell? Like,
everything's all jumbled up. I could even live with, because you know LOL Cena's going to win at TLC anyway. I could live with Big Show versus Cena at TLC. If you were to put everything back in order, which is that because Eric Rowan joined the Team Cena at the last minute, then that should be Eric Rowan versus Luke Harper, and then you have Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins, and it would just make more sense.
For the IC title, Dolph Ziggler versus Seth Rollins should be for the IC title. Yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Like, everything's like so jumbled right now. But let's move on to the next segment.
The next segment was, let me look down my notes. Oh, jeez, it's the thing I hate. The Racist Bros versus the Dust Bros.
Dude.
I call the New Day the Racist Bros.
Still wrestling each other, man. The New Day. Like, dude, like, I'm sorry. I'll just say this right now. I like Cody Rhodes, but I hate Stardust. But I wish Cody Rhodes the best of luck as Stardust. Yeah. I hate the New Day, but I love all three members inside of it, so I wish them the best of luck. I just hate this gimmick, and it's sad too because it's like the fans don't even interact with these guys. They try to say New Day, but it's not even the fans responding. It's like part of the song where they go New Day. It's like, God, that's sad, man. They're like trying their hardest, but it's hard for me to like people wearing these weird like Kiflon blue freaking ring attire, man. It's just
they look like, you know what they look like? They're dressed like, they look like if you ever played like Pokemon in the newer version where you dress up for a Pokemon contest and you want to match your Pokemon. It's like, oh, I put in a wall, I put my Blastoise in it, so I have to wear a blue outfit to match them so we get extra points in the contest. Like, they just look out of place, and it's like, why are you doing this? And this becomes another compliment sandwich for WWE. It's that, here's the bad thing, is that, or it's Cody Rhodes is losing, and he's losing as Stardust, and with two guys that were, once again, WWE, they got over pretty much on their own, and now WWE all of a sudden like has memory loss and doesn't know what to do with them. But in the middle,
like Cody, he was hot like 2 years. No, what was it? A year ago, around the time he was hot. Like, I remember, and
he wasn't just like hot,
like Battleground. Battleground. When he got that crossroads on the Seth Rollins, that crowd popped like crazy. And then he hit that crossroads. Like, I literally said, oh man, Cody's going to be like a favorite to win the Rumble. And it's just like they won the tag titles. And to me personally, I know a lot of people say like, oh, Daniel Bryan and the Authority type of thing, but they could have easily done Cody Rhodes and the Authority. And that's a topic for another time. I don't really want to go into how you would book that type of deal. But you could have easily done that instead of Daniel Bryan, the Authority, especially because there's more hints that they would rather that they would probably want to try to push Cody for Mania third. But it was just like, God damn, this guy was like one of the hottest things. Like I even remember, like, even though like that feud between the Rhodes and the Shield that they had, like I even got choked up when I saw them won, and they were hugging each other, and they were happy they got the jobs back, even though I knew they were gonna win.
Yeah.
It was just kind of, oh man, dude, they told such a great story, and it was just,
that was a great feud.
Goldust came back and put on a great performance, and then Cody with that crossroads, dude. Like I was just like, I was choked up and said, man, dude, like I'm happy they got their jobs back, even though I knew they were gonna win. Like that's how good Cody Rhodes is as a performer, is that he's able to make you like suspend your disbelief a little bit. Like he's been able to do that for like the past 3 years, and it's just like they don't do anything with this guy, and they make him Stardust, and it's like I get it. Some people are Stardust fans, but it's just like this is not going to make Cody into a star. No pun intended. This is not going to make him into a star. What's going to make him into a star is when he becomes Cody Rhodes again.
Yeah, the only thing that they can do now is obviously have him split, have him feud, and go over. But there's a point that was made by Paul Heyman to Seth Rollins that we'll get to after this, but it's like it's gonna suck when he's got to go at it alone, because while he's with, or in the beginning of when he was with Goldust, it was working, it was good, and Goldust looks good in the ring even though he's like 40 and he's been out for a while. And he still looks good. I think they could still put on a good match together. So I want to see those two do something. But nevertheless, Kofi Kingston got the win over Cody Rhodes. And it was a short match. I don't even remember how he got the win. I think it was like a crossbody or a roll-up. Like, I turned away for 2 seconds and the match was over.
I think it was a crossbody.
It was like a crossbody. I hate the New Day gimmick. I said this in like the review I did before this. I hate the New Day, and I personally am taking a stance to never liking them as a faction, but only liking them as individuals, because I do like all three individuals. But I, as a minority, take offense to this faction just on its what it is. It's like these generic church going, like, over the top, singing, dancing, carrying around their sweat towels, preaching and jumping around and dancing and hooping, hollering. It's just like, it's not the most racist thing ever to happen, but I mean, these guys are supposed to be the new nation, and then you turn them into this and go, are you not sports entertained? That upsets me, because it's like you're trying to belittle my intelligence.
Exactly, 100% agreed.
So that's the thing. Too bad Cody lost. Good thing Kofi won. Bad thing is both these teams kind of suck as a whole. So WWE needs to flip these compliment sandwiches around and start getting the bread to be something good. But the meat of it is that Kofi got a win. So that's something. Next, oh great, we get Mr. Personality, John Laurinaitis.
They're gonna make me a toleration. Big Johnny, people power.
Johnny.
I fucking loved it, dude. Hey, I miss John Laurinaitis. That guy was hilarious. I don't care what anyone says.
Johnny, Mr. Smoking Voice, Mr. Lung Cancer, John Laurinaitis. Jeez, I hated him as the Raw GM, but when he's not, in charge of the show, because I don't know why I have this, like, I like heels, but I just don't like heel GMs because they're always the same and they're always annoying. Like, I don't like Vicky other than what she does with the whole excuse me stuff. Is she's good on, like, heel GMs are strictly reserved for SmackDown because it's something I'm not going to watch all the time. Like, I don't like John Laurinaitis as a manager. I didn't like Eric Bischoff. I didn't like when Vicky was doing it. So that's just me. But John Laurinaitis is funny, and he was out to present an award for a surprise return of the year, which went to the Ultimate Warrior. I just thought that was nice. I thought, not much to say about it than the fact that I thought it was nice. I'm a big fan of the Ultimate Warrior.
Good touch.
Yeah.
Because, like, one thought the Warrior would ever come back, to WWE. They made that tasteless DVD, the self-destruction of the Ultimate Warrior. So it's kind of like, man, this guy will never get the respect he deserves. And this is coming from me. When I was getting into wrestling, like in the year 2000, the two WrestleManias my dad had on tape were WrestleMania 6 and WrestleMania 7. And if you guys ever watch those events, Ultimate Warrior had probably his one of his top 5 best matches on both of those events. Like, of course, I'm watching like him face against Hulk Hogan and him face against Macho Man in one of my personal favorite WrestleMania matches of all time. So it's just like this dude was like someone I didn't grow up when the phase was going hot, but as a kid rewatching that old stuff, I was like, man, that guy is flipping amazing. How come he doesn't wrestle anymore? And then like, you know, the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior DVD, I bought that as a kid and I hated it. Like, I was just like, that was just like saying, that to me was like one of the first documentaries I ever watched, like out of anything, saying this is like the most bitter thing I've ever watched. Like, this guy was amazing. Like, to me, I thought he was awesome. Like, why do they hate him so much? They call him dangerous. Like, I don't see how he's dangerous and stuff like that. So, you know, the Ultimate Warrior, great taste, great class by the fans. If it was a vote or not, obviously it wasn't. But yeah, it was a great taste. I mean, the Rock one is truly a real surprise because like no one knew that shit was going to happen. Yeah. But definitely, if you wanted to say like biggest surprise, had to be the Warrior coming back to WWE.
Yeah, that was I thought that was great. I'm myself and my friend Mike were both we both bonded in friendship because when I first met him I didn't know he spoke English because he's Puerto Rican and he never said a single word. But we both bonded when I liked wrestling. We both liked the Ultimate Warrior. I always, you know, documentary wise, I thought that the Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior, I thought that was the first of what was many cases of WWE being super butthurt about something. So like, you know, they did that. You know, they handle situations very poorly. So I thought that this was they handle crises and you know, people stepping out on their own and talking out against WWE and things like that, and they handle high pressure events wrong. And I thought that this was a good way to kind of be like, all right, we're super sorry guys, let's give a Slammy to Ultimate Warrior and things like that. So I thought it was good. I thought it was nice. And in terms of that was probably the only Slammy I was happy like and actually cared about the person that won.
Yeah, me too. I was like, good on them because, like, you know, the Warrior, like I said, he's someone that, like, I necessarily didn't grow up with, but when my wrestling fandom, he's definitely someone that I like. If you ask me about one of my favorite old school wrestlers, Ultimate Warrior is, like, always the first one mentioned. Like, I bought, like, the Ultimate Warrior t-shirt, and I just have it in my closet just because it's just, like, I don't wear it because I don't want to get it ruined because I know I will overwear it. I just love the Warrior. The dude is just an amazing talent. And it's good that he's getting some love and recognition. It's sad that, like, you know, he's getting it while, you know, other circumstances. But I'm glad that he finally got to go to the Hall of Fame, WrestleMania, and give that really, really good speech on Monday Night Raw.
Oh yeah, definitely. That Monday Night Raw definitely. I mean, if you had to go out, that was how you wanted to do it. But you know, so good on WWE for doing something right. They didn't handle the rest of the night right. So next thing we see Seth Rollins is backstage talking to J&J Security, congratulating each other, patting each other on the butt, and whatnot. And Seth Rollins stops talking for a second, and who does he eyeball? None other than Heyman Hustle himself, Mr. Paul. I'm here to represent my client, Heyman. And they cut themselves a nice little promo backstage. And I thought it was really interesting simply because Paul Heyman said something that maybe I am reading too deep into, or maybe I'm just because of my hatred towards John Cena am reading into. But he basically tells Seth Rollins that he knows Seth is going to be the future. He's known since the day that Seth came in and curb stomped Brock. And the only person who doesn't recognize that is stopping him is John Cena. And that in order for Seth to be recognized as the future of WWE, he needs to, quote, permanently entrench John Cena in the past, i.e. make him eat a curb stomp into some cinder blocks. And I thought that was interesting backstage segment.
Yeah, it was just the usual WWE trying to, like, get you to believe the swerve. Like, oh, they might have Seth Rollins win. It's like, we all know Cena's winning. He's going to go face Brock at the Rumble. Stop freaking trying to, like, believe anything else than that. So, yeah, like,
they tried.
Really talk about it's the usual stuff. They're just trying to, like, build up Seth Rollins and make Seth Rollins feel bigger than he is, yet they make him look like an idiot in most of his matches because he always needs help to win.
Yeah, I just thought that what Paul said was interesting because it's true to life. that John Cena is the
That's true.
one constantly standing in people's way, and that if you really want to succeed in
Hey,
WWE,
Cena says it himself. The future goes through me.
I
So
mean, personally, if I was a wrestler, if John Cena ever pulled that whole cutting into my promos and saying he's the future, I I see him backstage, I'd step him like 2 steps, literally 2 steps over to the side and tell him, "You cut in my promo, ever, I'll punch you in the throat and put the boots to your medium style."
and then
Unfortunately,
you know what
every
happened? You get buried. You
yeah,
get
I
fired.
don't. I wouldn't care. I tell Triple H. I know everyone will be like, "Oh, you wouldn't say that." I said it to people before with a lot more power than me, and it's got me in trouble. I was on probation my last year of college. That if you disrespect me, I will punch you in the throat and put the boots to you medium style. And how I put the boots to you depends on how much you disrespect me, because I run on Diablo rules. It's either easy, medium, hard, or Diablo hardcore where you don't come back. So that's what I tell old John Boy. I don't like John Cena. I like Seth Rollins. Another backstage segment trying to make you think Cena's the underdog and he's really not.
Yeah, they try to do this so many times. It's just like, even like the casual fans, you would think like they should know also like, oh, Cena's winning. Like, I don't think there's any casual fan out there that truly believes Seth Rollins is a threat to John Cena. Like even people who are not like quote unquote internet savvy or part of the IWC, they probably know Cena's going to win. Like they do such a bad job at like trying to make Cena the underdog all the time, because like he always wins, and so it's like
Yeah.
you can't really make the underdog. He doesn't really ever look vulnerable on television. Like the only time this year he's ever looked vulnerable was when he was in the steel cage and he was crying about the kids singing to him and stuff. But then afterwards he came out and cut the same old hokey dokey Cena promo. He's like, "I'm going to bring you a donkey, Bray Wyatt." So it's like,
Oh,
seriously,
dude.
they do such a bad job at making Cena feel like he's some underdog.
I didn't see that bit about the donkey part, but I remember watching your review and I was like, I need to go back and watch this because I record every Monday Night Raw just in case I miss stuff. I was like, I can't believe he just said that, and I can't believe I just listened to Chase say that he said that. John Cena is sickening.
I always remember this too. Like, one thing that people will know about me is that I remember some of the stupidest lines in wrestling, and Bray Wyatt said a stupid fucking line. Oh my god, dude. That Bray Wyatt promo was atrocious tonight.
Oh, tonight. Now, what I don't remember if I tweeted at you or I think I tweeted it at Blackjack, and then he was like, I think it was Blackjack who asked why he was so mad about the chair, and I was like, bro, you don't understand. That was Abigail's chair. Obviously, you should know that. Duh. Hashtag WWE logic. Bray Wyatt in that stupid chair.
It was so stupid, that promo. Bray Wyatt wanted to kill a human being for being of a rocking chair. Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt right now, people, for you thinking that's epic, then if you didn't call Raven versus Perry Saturn epic, you're stupid. That's just the bottom line, because this feud is far from epic. This feud is atrocious. This feud is just bad.
We're not even at that. We're not even at that point yet. We just skipped over. We skipped over 2 matches.
What 2 matches we skipped over?
Oh no, sorry, we skipped over a match and an award.
Did we skip over?
We skipped over Charlotte and Natty.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, we can go back to Charlotte. Because we're already on.
All we need to talk about with Charlotte and Natty is Tyson Kidd's hoodie / shirt with the cat ears on it.
I'm happy Charlotte got some rub, but it was just kind of weird. Why would you bring Charlotte up to the main roster just for it to lose? Like, wouldn't you want your NXT Women's Champion to look good?
Yeah, but you don't want to have her do it over Natty. This is a way to shut the internet fans up who don't like to watch Natty Neidhart lose. This is just kind of like, oh, look at it, she won. It's like, well, we don't want her to beat Charlotte. We want her to beat girls that are on the main roster that suck. Why is fortunately Eva Marie's been dead and I like it that way, but still she should be the Heath Slater of the Divas. She's already got the red hair.
Yeah, no, but it was good to see Charlotte. It was good that they went out of their comfort zone with promoting the NXT shows instead of using the usual suspects. And I like Adrian Neville and I like Sami Zayn, both wonderful talents. But it's just like, they, instead of going into that comfort zone where it's easy that Neville could get a Twitter response because of his sick red arrow, and Sami Zayn, he's just a beloved character overall. They went with Charlotte, and Charlotte, she gets this rep from internet fans. Like, everyone says, oh, she's still green and stuff. And I say to myself, she's a better performer than most males and females on the main roster. I think Charlotte is just a wonderful performer. Like I think she has like a good charisma to her. I think that she's like a good total package. Like I think she is one of the more underrated divas. I don't think anyone talks about her that much. You know, I hear always people talk about Paige and AJ Lee, and both of those are good. Both of those two are really good, and Natty as well. But it's just like, dude, Charlotte, she needs some love because I think she's really, really good.
Yeah, I don't watch NXT, and this was my first, like, I knew who Charlotte was, and while they were doing the promo, I was like, oh, it's Ric Flair's daughter. I had never seen I'd never seen any of her in-ring work, and I was like, oh, this, like, when the match was getting it going a little bit, I was like, oh, man, she's actually kind of like literally, like, female Ric Flair. She's kind of, they're doing a little bit of chain wrestling. I saw sparks of, and then all of a sudden the match was over, and I was like, whoa, I actually was...
You gotta watch the TakeOver match between her and Natty. It's freaking great.
Like,
just the chain wrestling that they do, like, go watch that. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube if you don't have the network, but seriously, if none of y'all have seen that match, oh my god, you're doing yourself a disjustice, because I hear all these people talking about, oh, this match was the best Divas match, this match, and I'm like, no, go just watch Charlotte and Natty. No Divas match will top that match that you will see this year. That match was just really good. You'll see, like, she does some crazy shit with that figure four. She does a really good job with the figure four locks and everything, so definitely check that match out if you haven't seen it yet.
Well, Chase, they need to really check out what is the best Divas match ever according to friggin' what's her face, not Naomi, friggin' Cameron. This is Alicia Fox versus Melina. That's the greatest Divas match of all time. I almost couldn't get it out because it was so dumb. But yeah, so we got Charlotte versus Natty. Natty got a win. Once again, another compliment sandwich where it's like, it sucks to watch Charlotte lose because she's a young up-and-coming diva. It's great to watch Natty win. And then at the bottom, it's like, but it doesn't help Natty or her because they're losing / beating one another, not people that are on the main roster or on their roster with them. So it was nice to see Natty finally get a win. Freaking Tyson Kidd's OD with his overhyped tiny little t-shirt hoodie with the cat ears, looking like something out of like a Japanese anime. But that's that thing.
Tyson Kidd gets a rub. I like when Natty wins matches and he gets on the turnbuckle and he celebrates.
Yeah, that's the best part about it is when he hops up on the turnbuckle and gets in like Natty's way. And she always like tries to be like a loving wife and hop underneath him, and I'm like, nah, Nat, just push him down one time. It'll put you super over. Next, we had Santino Marella came out to present the He kept saying instead of OMG, and that was like funny / irritating. But I like the Santino character just being like a weird, foreign person. Santino comes out to present the OMG shocking moment of the year, which went to Bork, and I only call him Bork. I only call Brock Lesnar Bork when I'm mad at him. It went to Bork for ending the streak.
Yeah, man, that was like the only one. All those other moments sucked dick. The streak was like the one because no one thought the streak would ever win, would ever end. And it's just like all of a sudden it ended like that, and it was just like shit. So then, like all those other awards, like all those other nominees, that you didn't even need to make a video package for them. You could have just like said, yeah, this happened, but this streak ended. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, that was basically. It was just like, hey, here's some things that happened that you might be interested in looking at if you have the WWE Network. But if you don't, you can probably find a million different versions of Brock beating The Undertaker to a deathly silent crowd that wasn't expecting that to happen. Whatever,
That's still the dumbest things I've ever seen.
It's by far one of the dumbest bookings I've ever seen. And, I was talking about it beforehand with someone else, but it's like that... I didn't get the chance to listen to you talking about the Austin Vince McMahon podcast, but I personally believe that was a sign of exactly how delusional Vincent Kennedy McMahon is.
Yeah, I didn't really bash it as much. I just kind of said I'm glad that he admitted that he made the stupid call.
Oh yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not even talking about like that just in and of itself. I mean overall. How he's not like everyone's like, oh, Vince McMahon's a liar and a snake. My mom loves to say that too because she was a huge wrestling fan when she was younger. But I'm like, I don't even think he's like a liar and a snake anymore. I think he believe that he's delusional and thinks what he's doing for the most part is right because it was.
I think Vince believes everything he's doing is correct, so.
And no one's there to tell him no. He's like Chris Brown, like he's famous, like a famous person who's on the wrong path, like or Justin Bieber is like no one's telling him he's doing wrong, even though he's clearly doing wrong. So he thinks it's okay. He's like a little kid. I mean, I guess the metaphor is fitting because that's that whole bit about when your parents get old, they all of a sudden become the kid. But still, I mean, when he was talking about Cesaro, I immediately was like, "Oh yeah, he's delusional."
Yeah. We can talk about the Vince podcast, but I think we can
all right.
Talk more Raw because like we could go on like another.
You can go on for days.
Podcast and some of the stupid shit he said on there.
Jeez. But what was interesting and I thought was weird because this is the follow up thing is that Paul Heyman comes out there, talks about Brock, talks about how great Brock is. But then Bray Wyatt came out and it was weird too because it didn't seem like Paul Heyman finished talking. But Bray Wyatt came out to cry about the rocking chair that Dean destroyed last week.
So stupid. They made Bray Wyatt look so pathetic over the years. Like over this year. Like, I'm sorry, you can be the biggest Bray Wyatt fan in the world, but if you're just accepting his shit just because he can cut a good promo, just stop.
Yeah.
Just, even, I'll give an example. I'm a huge Rock fan. Like, The Rock is one of my favorites. Like, I love him. But when he was doing that shit with Cena in 2012, like, some of that stuff was really bad. And I even admitted that this wasn't even the best stuff The Rock can do.
No.
This was just bad. And... Bray Wyatt, he is just coming out there, and they make him talk way too much, and he talks about the most dumbest things. Like, I know that he has more freedom than most for his promos, but seriously, you're telling me you tried to end a man's life because of a fucking rocking chair? How stupid is that? That's just stupid. That's just dumb. I don't care what anyone says. That's just dumb.
It's weird to watch Bray Wyatt cutting promos like this, crying about a chair, because it's almost this feud is almost starting to mimic freaking Waylon Mercer versus Doink. Like it's starting to become like not interesting and a joke to me, and not a good joke either. Like Waylon Mercer, for anyone who doesn't know, is the character that Bray Wyatt is. He was a wrestler who had the same promo and gimmick as Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt spent like 2 years encompassing this like what was a minor character and making it into what is now Bray Wyatt. And he at one point Waylon Mercer had like a feud / match, like a 30-second match with Doink the Clown, and it was pathetic and the feud was pathetic. And this is what it's becoming. It's just like, yes, Waylon Mercer, yes, Bray Wyatt, they both can speak. Yes, Doink is interesting. Yes, Dean is interesting because they're both weird and eccentric. But I don't care. Their reasonings are petty. What's happening doesn't make any sense. And like I get that it's especially with Bray Wyatt, Mercer was more like a Jim Jones type character, whereas Bray Wyatt is kind of similar to I don't even know how to put it. I play like I'm kind of a nerd, so I'd say like the Dark Brotherhood in Skyrim, where like he worships this weird deity that no one ever sees or hears of, that he references like it's his mother or his sister, but you never see or hear it, and that's fine for the character. That's great, but at the end of the day, what's going on in this feud doesn't make any sense. Why does Dean show up with a neck brace that he can just take off after apparently suffering a serious, quote-unquote, serious injuries on Friday Night SmackDown? Now, I understand that SmackDown is recorded.
It's not only just a serious injury, like a trachea injury.
Exactly, to the throat.
And then Ambrose was able to talk just fine. Like, this is terrible. Like it's like they do the same shit. Promo, beat down, promo. It's like there's nothing new in this feud. And it's like people just accept it just based on the name value of these two. And it's like, I like Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose is great. Bray Wyatt, he's fallen off for me, but I think the guy has potential. But it's just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, stop saying this feud is good. Stop accepting garbage wrestling fans.
Yep.
Like the WWE is the problem as well. But wrestling fans accepting garbage just because of name value is also the fucking problem. Like, Ambrose and Wyatt is not epic. This is not a good feud. No. Someone tried to convince me how this is like a top 3 feud in wrestling, and I'm just saying to myself, holy fucking shit. you are really blind. And I really want to know what your other two top feuds in wrestling are, because you must be one of the dumbest people I've ever heard in my life. And I rarely say that. I rarely insult intelligence a lot, but that was one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. If you like the feud for your own personal reasons, just because you know they're going to put on a good match, fine, that's cool. But if you were trying to tell me that this could entertain a lot of people, I totally disagree with you. I think a lot of people would just be bored out of their mind. Like, I just think this feud is just such a waste of a feud and a missed potential, and you're just ruining two of your really bright stars. That's just my opinion. I'm done talking about these two goons right now. Like, it's just depressing.
Yeah, it sucks to watch the two of them too, because I had such I'm a huge Bray Wyatt fan. I liked him when he was back in the Nexus. I always thought he was like a breakout guy to be a part of the Nexus. I like to watch a big dude move around the ring, because I'm a big dude and I move a lot quicker than people think. So it's always fun to watch a guy that kind of like similar to me. And the character is great, and it's great that he gets freedom, and it makes me hopeful for future events in WWE. But then we get this same rehash. It's like WWE must play a lot of like SmackDown versus Raw '08, because they had their match card set to rerun every single. Like, they're trying to boost the GM of the Year award so they can unlock DX at SummerSlam, because it's just like it's the same thing over and over again. This guy comes out, cuts a promo, beats the other dude, comes and beats him down. That guy comes out, cuts a promo, the other dude beats him down, and it's just over and over and over again. It's this vicious cycle. I mean, whatever. We could talk. I could easily talk about how to like retool this feud. I mean, I even retooled in the 2 seconds that I mentioned in your last video I was in. I mentioned how they could have changed the Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, being on Team Cena, Team Authority in like 2 sentences.
Let's talk about Eric Rowan and Luke Harper right now.
Yes, because this was. This was the next thing. I don't even care what happened. D-Ray of the Year went to AJ Lee, and John Cena was backstage. That's all that happened in between what we're about to say right now. AJ Lee, great. John Cena, hate him. Eric Rowan.
And Luke Harper, like, what the fuck? Like, I hate Garbage Man, which is my nickname.
Garbage Man.
I hate him. He's garbage to me. That's why he's called Garbage Man. And it's like freaking Garbage Man and Luke Harper is a match that you can put on a pay-per-view.
Yep.
Yet you do it now. And it's like you do it now with no, even like little hype that this match is happening. You don't even say like, oh yeah, on WWE.com, 2 former Wyatt family members meet in the ring, or you don't like promote it at the beginning of the show. No, it just happened. And it's like, this is terrible. What the hell? Why are you giving this match for free? Why are you making this match feel like filler garbage? And then at the end, these two are brawling it out like they're facing at the pay-per-view. If I'm someone watching this for the first time, I'm thinking these two are facing off at the pay-per-view. I want to think that Garbage Man is facing Big Show in like some stupid stairs match, and I want to think that Dolph Ziggler is facing Luke Harper in a ladder match. I wouldn't think that whatsoever. I would think Garbage Man and Luke Harper are having a match at pay-per-view, but they aren't. So I don't know what the frick the WWE's doing with these two. Like, I don't like Luke Harper. Luke Harper's great. Garbage Man sucks, but like, even though I hate Garbage Man, I don't understand why in the blue hell you're doing a Garbage Man and Luke Harper match like it's nothing on free TV.
Oh yeah, they're doing it for like it's nothing, but I guarantee next week it'll be their feud. All of a sudden, it's like, oh well, last week Luke Harper hit. By the way, Luke Harper got himself DQ'd by hitting Eric Rowan over the head with a ladder. The match was literally like 30 seconds. It was nothing, but it's this is gonna be a thing where like next week they're gonna be talking about they were former they're gonna push it like the Shield. They were former Wyatt family brothers and they lived in the woods together and blah blah blah. I don't care. That's the problem. Is like WWE has a tendency to create things that I don't care about. More importantly, this Eric Rowan character, it sucks and. I can explain to you exactly who the character is. The character himself now, the way they're building, because last week, I didn't do a Raw review last week because I freaking hated that Raw, and the crowd made it even worse. Tulsa, Oklahoma.
That Raw was terrible. It was called Cyber Monday, and you only got to choose one option for one match. Like, what the hell?
And the crowd sucked. I mean, I tweeted about how in the beginning of the show they were cheering for Cena, and then like in the middle of his promo that he was cutting, people started doing the "Let's Go Cena, Cena sucks," and then by the end of the night when he came out, he came out, they cheered, and then by the time he was walking down the ramp, they started to boo him, and I was just like, is the crowd tired? Are they bored? Are they drunk? Like, it's Oklahoma. This is like I watch basketball. It's like I know Oklahoma is supposed to have like the hypest crowds ever. They don't call it Loud City, and Oklahoma is when it's an Oklahoma City home game. I get that it's a different city, but I mean, I know it is being hyped, but that Raw it's in the past. But Eric Rowan, the character, is apparently all of a sudden, according to last week, a genius.
What the hell?
Now, let me say this: when he's supposed to, apparently he's like he can run wineries. I don't remember the technical term for somebody who does run wineries, but he can like run a wine vineyard, and they have him solving Rubik's Cube, which they very cleverly like pulled away to have him just drop the unsolved one to pick up a solved one. Now, apparently he has a 140 IQ, and is supposed to be well spoken and well read, even though he's kind of a weird shut-in big guy. Now, one, I have a 121 IQ, and I can solve Rubik's Cubes without having to use the power of jump cuts. And two, his character is supposed to be notorious serial killer Ed Kemper. For all of you who don't know who Ed Kemper is, he is known, like, slang-wise, the co-ed killer. He killed 5 young girls, 4 from college, 1 from high school, and then he went on to kill his mother and her friend. And when he was 15, he killed his grandmother and his grandfather, and they only like locked him up in like juvie or whatever. And he was like a genius. He was like almost 7 feet tall. He had a genius IQ, guy with a crazy scraggly beard for a long time. So that's the character that Eric Rowan is supposed to be. I only noticed that because he's supposed to be a genius, and I still don't care. And I really like Ed Kemper's story, and I still don't care about Eric Rowan.
Yeah, they like try to force a stupid nickname on him. Big Red.
Oh,
Red.
God.
Like, God damn, was Vince like chewing Big Red chewing gum? And
yeah.
he was like, Big Red, it's good. And then they're just like, you're like, that's good for Eric Rowan. You're Big Red from now on.
When they called him Big Red, and I read your tweet about the gum thing, immediately I thought, what if Vince was eating hot tamales at that point? What would he have gotten out of Michael Cole's mouth at commentary table? He was like, call him a hot tamale. They're long and red like his beard.
The hot tamale, Eric was like,
Let's call him hot sauce.
It's just dumb that they had this match now. What other stuff happened on Raw?
Next up, nope, we're skipping this, even though you probably like it because of the bunny. I hate this bit.
Wait, I hate the bunny. I don't like the bunny.
I know. I just want to say you like the bunny.
Bunny sucks dick, man. The bunny can go burn in hell, man. Like,
I don't want to talk about it because I hate the bunny and I hate Adam Rose because they haven't made Adam Rose interesting.
That LOL moment.
Yep, LOL moment of the year presented by Adam Rose.
The best part was the Miz and Mizdow, but we've talked enough about the Miz and Mizdow.
Yep, Miz and Mizdow won. Obviously, Mizdow won. The Miz took the award. That's that. I still don't care.
I love the Miz. I'm like, yes, you guys want Miz now. Like, that was the Miz awesome.
Yes, we want Miz now. Miz flips it and goes, yes, I know you want Miz now. Was probably the best part.
Yeah.
Of every the Miz and Miz now were the best part of the whole night. So moving on, they won the award, but Rusev and Lana come out.
Boring. Rusev and Swagger again, and here's the thing, it's like Rusev is like an easy heel. And what I mean is like this: you can send any random fuck in the world to face this guy, and that person will become like a big baby face. And instead of like testing the waters with someone, like let me just say some names for example. Look at Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel is someone that is pretty talented. Recently separated himself from Ryback. He's trying to run a different gimmick where he's like a real man type of deal.
Yep.
It's like, instead of giving Curtis Axel this opportunity, we're giving it to Jack Swagger. And then now let me say another name, Titus O'Neil.
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil right now is stuck being a terrible heel with a terrible tag team in Slater Gator.
Yeah. Randomly showing up in the back of Diva segments trying to get some yams.
Yeah, exactly. He's doing nothing. And instead of like having it where this big freaking monster like Titus O'Neil comes out and wants to beat up Rusev to see how he would do as a babyface, you go with Jack Swagger again. And it's just like Rusev, like I said, you can send anyone out there, anyone. It doesn't matter who it is. It could be an irrelevant guy on the roster, someone who has no reaction. But just because they go out there to defend the USA against Rusev, these guys will get over.
Yeah.
And instead of testing the waters to see if one of these guys can get over and seeing if this guy can pull up a really good match with Rusev, they go with Jack Swagger again. And I think to myself, was Jack Swagger and Rusev's matches any really great matches that you want to re-see again? I totally understand if WWE wants to do a refeud, like they did it with Sheamus and Cesaro. Well, yeah, Sheamus and Cesaro, we know they're going to put on at least a good match that's worth a pay-per-view time. So yeah, that's fine to kind of refeud that, even though it's going 2 steps backwards.
Yep.
But Swagger and Rusev, it's what in the hell? They're doing the same shit they were doing this summer. And like I said, none of the Swagger and Rusev matches were matches where I was like, oh shit, I want to see that match again. They were just decent, mediocre matches. So why in the blue hell is the WWE not taking a risk on someone new to face Rusev, like a Curtis Axel or Titus O'Neil, or hell, even Heath Slater or Justin Gabriel? Why don't they do that instead of just using, Swagger again? It's just dumb. It really is. And this whole Swagger and Rusev feud is dumb. We know Rusev is going to win, and it's just that. It's come on, use your brains, WWE, especially if you use Curtis Axel. That could be the perfect setup for Ryback and Rusev in the future. So I don't know.
I don't know. WWE has it. There is quite literally any you said it. Any guy they could use. I even in my own head can imagine. And I just had it. Who was I just thinking of that? Cesaro going up against Rusev, being like, I may speak all these languages, but none of them are Russian, or I live in America now. The number one language I speak is English, and immediately watch how they flip. You can flip Cesaro's character. Anybody you could stick in the ring with Rusev, and they stick with Jack Swagger, and the problem is even if after their first match where Rusev makes Jack pass out, you're like, man, I want to see those guys have a match again. But what happens is you get the same exact thing. He constantly makes these dudes pass out, and I get that it helps them not look weak. But if you do it over and over and over again, not only with this person and then try to bring them back into the fold later, but you do it with every single... He made Swagger pass out. He made Big E pass out. He made Big Show pass out. He made Mark Henry pass out. And he's already had Swagger beat on his ankle, all types of stupid. So it's we not only have it already seen this feud, we've literally already seen everything you've had to give us. Why would we care now? Yes, you can stick it in TLC because I don't think that they've had an Extreme Rules-ish match, but in WWE,
they're not sticking it in a gimmick. It's just a normal match.
Yeah. So there's no gimmick.
Rusev again. It's just like I said, any Swagger and Rusev match this year made you say, shit, I gotta see these guys again. No, they were just mediocre, decent matches. So I don't understand why in the blue hell WWE just doesn't take a risk on someone else. I mean, it's just dumb to me.
Yeah. So that's the thing. Lana's still attractive, so that's something.
What else?
What happened after that is, jeez, oh, this was the Usos.
Yeah, we talked about this already.
Yeah, we already talked about this match, Miz and Mizdow. We didn't talk about the match. We already talked about Miz and Mizdow, but the match was...
That's all that matters in this match. This whole match was just another WWE, pay-per-view's coming up? Okay, we got to get these guys in a 6-man tag, brother, to build up these matches.
Yep. But, the match it was the Usos and Ryback versus Kane, Miz, and Mizdow. Ryback beat the Miz by hitting him with the OD clothesline that Mizdow sold instead of the Miz, and then
the shell shock, right?
And then the shell shock, boom. The only thing that happened at the end, Seth Green came in the ring and did a little bit with Ryback trying to lift his arm up, and he's tiny and weak. So that was just interesting because I like Seth Green. After that, we get match of the year to be presented by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. What happened to Ricky Jr.?
He got released a long time ago, man. Richie, he was ass.
Really?
Yeah, he wasn't good.
Oh, that sucks. Just the fact that his name is Richie Blood makes me it makes it awesome. I liked him. It said somewhere that I was reading somewhere that it said that was just a misreport. He was never actually released. But since you say so, I'm gonna trust it.
He was released. when FCW became NXT, like he didn't even last long on NXT. It was gone like 2 weeks of it.
Mm. They really need to sign Chris Hero back, but that's just me because I'm a Chris Hero fan.
Have you seen Chris Hero lately?
No, I haven't seen what he's doing lately.
Go type in Chris Hero 2004. You'll see how fat he is. It's atrocious how fat he is.
Yeah, he didn't want to cut weight back in WWE.
No, it's not even like. I tell this to all these Chris Hero fans. Go literally look at Chris Hero, and you're gonna say to yourself like, "Holy shit, he let himself go." It's ridiculous how fat he is nowadays.
Oh jeez, I always remember him being like tall and lanky.
No, dude, he's not even tall and lanky anymore. He's just tall and fat. Like he's like Samoa Joe fat. That's how fat he is.
Oh,
now.
Come on. Well,
I'm not BSing when I say that. I'm not.
That makes me. Samoa Joe's a special type of fat. It's funny because only his right.
No, yeah. Well, Samoa Joe's Samoan. I'm just saying, like Chris Hero, like he's like fat.
He's like
he's fat.
He's like CM Punk circa FCW. Like he ballooned in weight out of nowhere.
You mean OVW?
OVW. Sorry, I don't know why I said FCW. Yeah, like from the when he was talking about how he went up to like 240.
Yeah, he's kind of like, but he's not like that, dude. He's like
fat.
He's literally just fat. Like you have to type in a picture.
He's like Kevin. He's like Kevin Steen now.
No, like Kevin's. I'll have to get you a picture because you do not know. Like,
I don't understand at all. Like I don't understand how bad it is. Actually, let me look it up. I'll look it up.
I'll look it up. You keep on going because I'm trying to show you that Chris Hero's fat now. It's just ridiculous.
Jeez.
Here, I got the picture. This is like, yeah, it's pathetic how fat he is. Like, I'm gonna post it in the Sky chat, and everyone can't see this, but generic minority can. And oh my god, fucking Google. There's stupid ways of copying images.
Oh man.
Just copy this image and send it. Paste in. Alright, go click on that. You'll see. This is literally Chris Hero 2000. It's ridiculous.
I have this photo bucket. Come on, open up for me. Oh man, I'm a huge Chris Hero fan. Like I even got an A in an art class. It was a computer art class by doing pictures of. It was like a graphic art class I did. It was Chris Hero. I can't remember who the other dude was in Austin Aries, and I got like an A in it. He was like, "Oh, I don't know who." My teacher freaked out because he didn't know who the wrestlers were. But it's a old Chris Hero picture. This won't open up for some reason. Jeez. Anyway, while this is trying to open up, I'll freak out when I see it. Match of the year presented by Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
And here's another one. Just to prove how fat he is now.
He keeps trying to show me fat. He keeps trying to show me fat Chris Hero. People, stop him. He knows I like Chris Hero.
No, I'm just trying to tell you he's fat now, and you're trying to like make it sound like it's good fat, but it's not terrible.
You're not helping. It won't load for some reason. But don't worry, I'll see it when we're done with this, and I'll immediately
look. Another one, just to prove how bad he is now. All right, go on.
He's trying to crush my love of an indie wrestler.
I'm just trying to show you the truth, man.
No, I know it's the truth. I just don't want it to be the truth. So yeah, we get a match of the year presented by Ricky Steamboat. He crowd was nice and silent for him. It was weird. It was like a Japanese crowd. Like they were silent, just waiting for him to say what he needed to say, and then see who the winner was. But it was cool. His Team Cena versus Team Authority won match of the year. I don't know why. I know why, but I don't know why.
Match in WWE. I thought that match was ass.
What?
Team Cena, Team Authority. I thought that match was terrible.
Yeah, the match was terrible. Decent story and cool seeing Dolph be the last man standing, getting the win and staying. But other than that, the match was terrible. But it won. And we talked about earlier, thank God Dolph came on and accepted the award. But even still, it's technically LOL Cena wins. Yeah. Which is followed by actual LOL Cena wins later on the night. That match followed by AJ Lee versus Summer Rae. AJ Lee made Summer Rae tap out. That's it. So, the next thing was Extreme Moment of the Year. Was presented by RVD.
RVD in a suit.
I had RVD in a suit with purple tie and a purple vest. I even put in my notes. I was like, he's a funny dude, because he's just like talking like nonchalant and casual, even though he's clearly supposed to be like reading off cards and things like that. But it's RVD and you can't stop him. The most extreme moment of the year. This is just an award that I don't like, just because nothing can be as extreme as it used to be in WWE. But Nevertheless, the award was won by Chris Jericho, but for some odd reason, Fandango came out and took the award. Huh?
It was what it was for me. I don't really care about this award. It was just kind of like, what won? What was it like? Some Brock Lesnar, right? Suplexing Cena.
That would have made more sense.
That was an extreme moment.
That's extreme by current WWE standards, but that would have at least made more sense than Chris Jericho winning and having Fandango come out and take the award.
Oh yeah, Jericho won with the crossbody.
Yeah, the crossbody off the cage to Bray Wyatt, with Fandango coming in and taking the award, it's just like, so are those two gonna feud now, or is this just like, because if they're not gonna feud after this, then why? So that's all that was. It was just confusing, the events that were happening, but it was cool seeing RVD.
Yeah.
And then,
yeah, especially in this, funny.
Especially in a suit with purple accessories. Just still in a suit is in and of itself hilarious, but he still had to zhuzh it up RVD style. I'm surprised he didn't wear like a yin yang t-shirt underneath, or one of those suit tie shirts. So this is it. By the end of the night, superstar of the year. Chase, much like when we had to introduce Eric Rowan as the last guy on Team Cena, I'm gonna let you say who won Superstar of the Year. Speak loud and clear so the entire class can hear you.
You want me to announce your Superstar?
Oh yeah, no, I want you to say it. I'm not gonna say it. I can't. I'd die laughing if I did.
Yeah, okay. The Superstar of the Year for the WWE of 2014. Let me just name the nominees: Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, and John Cena.
Yep.
Those were all the nominees, but a nominee did not win. Instead, we got the surprise, and the winner of this award was Cockfist. Who is Cockfist, you may ask? Cockfist is none other than my affectionate nickname for Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Roman Reigns is our Superstar of the Year of 2014. His accomplishments this year, eliminating everyone in the like most Royal Rumble eliminations this year, breaking Kane's long ass record.
Yep, by one.
He pinned the New Age Outlaws at WrestleMania.
Yep.
He beat Evolution.
Yep.
Got initiated kind of in the Breakfast Club at Payback.
And tied the record for the most people eliminated in a Survivor Series match.
At SummerSlam.
Yep.
That's like pretty much his highlights that made him Superstar of the Year.
Much like when Maria won Diva of the Year, it makes no sense. You were gone. You've been gone and / done nothing for a year. So, automatically equals Superstar of the Year.
Your Dean keeps cutting in and out for me. Maybe close some tabs.
Yeah. I think it was because it was kept trying to open. Yeah, it keeps trying to open the
those Chris Hero fat pictures.
He's so fat it won't open the pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I know.
Your Dean kept cutting in and out. I just heard Maria.
Oh, I was speaking on the fact that just like when Maria won Diva of the Year when she hadn't done anything.
Yeah, Roman Reigns wins this award.
It was just
it was funny when he won this award because the internet exploded.
Yeah, the internet lost its mind. I was like, I follow WWE memes, and everyone's posting all these memes about Roman Reigns that they just made 10 minutes beforehand to badmouth him. I get it, I guess, but I don't care.
Yeah, but it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Roman Reigns is the future guy, and it's he's a future star, and I know a lot of people, he's not their flavor. He's not the guy they want to see get pushed to the top, but fuck, man, WWE needs any star, and at this point, I like Cockfist. I like all the members of the Shield, just to be clear. I don't have one that's particularly a favorite. So I like Cockfist. I think he's fine for what he does. He's funny. Believe Cat. That's catchy to me. One against all. He has a good look to him. He's not as bad as Cena. To me at least. Everyone says he's as bad as Cena, but I highly doubt that. I highly disagree with that. So really, to be honest, I'm fine that he's Superstar of the Year. Did he deserve it? Who the fuck cares? They're trying to build a fucking star. Stop crying. Seriously, y'all got Daniel Bryan to win last year. What? You want Daniel Bryan to just win every single fucking award? Like seriously, y'all need to like sometimes just be happy that some other people. Well, like I get it. Maybe you wanted Dean Ambrose or Seth Rollins to win, but like seriously, they want to hitch their wagon on Roman Reigns. And when you look at Roman Reigns, I can't blame them. Dude looks more impressive than any dude I've seen in a while in the WWE. 6'5", freaking can move, freaking fast as hell. Like Jesus, man. Like I get it. He's not everyone's flavor, but shit, you can't just like think that. Like, you know, will they shove Roman Reigns down our throat? Only time will tell, man. Like, right now, yeah, it seems like it's the LOL Reigns era is just beginning, but it's just like, fuck. Like, what else do you want them to do? What would you rather have Cena be the fucking guy who shove it down our throats or Roman Reigns? That's a question. Would you want the same old shit, or would you actually want a new star?
That's not the question, Chase. You're missing it's not a question of whether or not you want to see Roman Reigns or Cena. It's not a question so much as like, it's a statement. It's like you're either going to get Roman Reigns or you're going to get Cena.
Yeah, that's pretty much a statement. It's like you're either going to get this guy or that guy, and it's like, what would you rather see though? Cena fucking win again, and you guys get all frustrated and shit, and saying WWE can't build new stars, or them forcing a new star down our throats. Like this isn't the first time they've had to force someone down our fucking throats. Like everyone thinks it's like the first time ever, but
they did it with Curtis Axel, man.
Yeah, they did it with Axel. They did it with Ryback. Ryback was actually getting hot. And it wasn't like when Roman Reigns came out there, the fans were booing. He got a really good reaction. So I was surprised by his reaction. Fans seemed to like to see him again. Like, they liked him. I mean, in all honesty, I don't get wrestling fans sometimes. They want new stars, but it's just like anytime someone that's not really quote-unquote their guy, they just get upset about it. It's like, look, Seth Rollins, dude's talented, not ready yet. Dean Ambrose, I'm sorry. Dean Ambrose, like, I love the dude, but this guy is just like, he's not someone right now that I would put in the main event. That's just me being honest here. Bray Wyatt, same thing. He's not a guy I would put in the main event. Roman Reigns, this dude looks just like his fucking cousin. This dude is 6'5", can move fucking fast. When you talk about larger than life, I don't know what gets more larger than life than fucking Roman Reigns. Sorry, man.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just the guy. He's the Samoan guy that's larger than life, and I was fine with him. I was fine with him winning it. It's better than that freaking year when Cena won it, even though he quote unquote lost every match that year.
No, he didn't lose every match. That was his quote unquote worst year ever.
Yeah, sorry. You know, that's why I say quote unquote.
Yeah.
But you know that quote unquote his worst year ever, where he was not losing, but still somehow it was his worst year ever.
Yeah, it was like the worst year ever because his like wife divorced with him, and he got Bella instead. I consider that a good year, but whatever.
Yeah, Nikki Bella's got some strong knees. You see when she does that rack attack, I'm like, as soon as the first time I saw her do, I was like, that chick's knees are strong. So yeah, Roman Reigns won Superstar of the Year. Good for him. Then we got the main event, which I was recording at one point during the main event before you tweeted at me.
I didn't watch, man. I was like, fuck, seen a big show. I've seen it at WrestleMania 20. I don't need to see it. Main eventing my Monday Night Raws. It's ridiculous that these guys are still going at it 10 years later. I was like, deuces, I'm done. Like, I tapped out. I was like, nope, I'm done with this Raw. So, this Raw was just bad. I don't know how I can just sum it up, man. If I can just sum it up right now, this was a bad episode.
Yeah. It was a bad episode, but for me personally, it was only made better by the fact that the crowd was better.
Yeah, but the crowd can be as hot as they want for a Cena Big Show match, but we all know how.
Oh no!
Let me take a guess how it ended. Like, there was no clean finish. Cena probably got like the DQ win or whatever, because that normally happens on these Raws. We don't get a clean finish for a freaking match. Cena gets the win, and it's like, LOL, Cena wins, and then bunch of chaos, and either Cena stood tall or, you know, Seth stood tall. Like, one of those two things had to happen.
Oh yeah, no, you super nailed it.
Sweet.
Yeah,
this is how long I've been watching wrestling and how predictable the current product of WWE is that you just know sometimes what they're going to do. They will throw you a curveball every once in a while, but like honestly, with like today's stuff, you just know, especially when it comes to the main event, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah. It was funny because I was recording and I wasn't looking at the screen. All of a sudden, I seen Seth Rollins in the ring with J&J Security beating on Cena, and I was like, "Oh, apparently Cena just got the LOL DQ win." And I was like, I wasn't sure because like I rewinded and I see him pinning the Big Show after an attitude adjustment. I was like, oh, maybe he got the pin, but no. Right before the ref hits 3, Seth Rollins comes in and gets him DQ'd, which defeats the entire purpose of going in there and beating up Cena because he still won the match right when he was about to win the match.
Uh-huh.
And that irritated me. I hate that. I hate this Cena wins via DQ stuff every week because you can't have Cena get pinned.
Like fucking the heels win via DQ stuff because you can't make the baby faces look bad or the baby faces win clean. It's just like
I get that it's entertainment and you want to see the hero prevail and all that, but listen.
But here's the thing. It's like even in entertainment, it's like especially on a weekly show.
Yep.
You don't want to see the hero win. It's always an interest. You watch the show for a reason because that's the problem with the WWE. Like they tend to forget it's okay for wins and losses to happen. It's like the Schlag Daddy, what he says. It's like in the NBA, not everyone's gonna win their games. It's hard to go undefeated in the NBA. Like look at the Bulls.
They still managed to lose 10 games.
Yeah, they still lost 10 games. They managed to lose 10 games. It's fine for dominance to lose every once in a while. It's fine. Look at the Patriots. Like they showed how hard it was trying to complete a perfect season. Like it's just like it's fine to see the dominance lose. I mean, that's the thing. I guarantee you, ever since Cena's reign on top, if he lost a little bit more and he developed a character, people wouldn't mind Cena. Cena would actually be more tolerable and actually would be a better star because of it. But it's just like for some reason they believe like, oh, the babyface and the heroes must win all the time. It's like it doesn't hurt these guys to lose. Like unless you're like the biggest nerd on earth, you're not going to remember this fucking Raw.
No, it's not. That's the problem with Raw and WWE lately is that it's not memorable. And the thing is that you didn't watch the main event and I didn't look at it until like later, like in Rewind. And you still managed to call it, and I already knew what was going on in the middle of recording something while it was going on. So it's bad. But like I said, WWE's become like the M. Night Shyamalan of like they were good at one point, and then it's just been downhill ever since. They were good, then they did something that was okay, and then now it's just bad. It's like ever since Sixth Sense, M. Night Shyamalan hasn't recovered. Ever since, I can't even remember when. Honestly, I would say since the Benoit incident, I don't think they've been since then. Because now,
I would argue that like ever since like they and I'm not trying to blame the PG rating, but I think ever since when Linda was running for her first candidacy,
yeah, that'll do.
And they turned into PG. I think it's like more like ever since like Linda's first failed Senate campaign, that's when they have never been able to recover because they were still doing some good stuff in '08. I mean, like they had Jericho Michaels and like Taker Edge and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there was still some good stuff. But it was just like ever since that failed Senate campaign, it's just gone downhill. Where it's just like the thing with WWE, it's like Schlag Daddy said in his Raw, and I love the Schlag Daddy by the way. So
no, it's fine. I do too.
If you hear me reference him a lot, it's because he brings up good points. It's like he said in Survivor Series review, the WWE today, it's feel the sting. It's like literally like you just like no matter how much they can piss you off, no matter what they do to make you just like give up on something, they do one thing right, and it's just like it feels refreshing. So, you know what I'm saying? That's how it is nowadays. It takes one thing for the WWE to sucker you back in.
It's like they're torturing you, and then they give you a brief reprieve from it. And they're like, here. It's like waterboarding someone and then giving them a lollipop in the middle of that, and you're like, oh wow, this is actually really nice. I didn't think. Oh god, you're waterboarding me.
Exactly. It's like if you were like fucking like torturing someone and you gave them food, the person that is just like, oh, like, and you've seen it in movies too, where like the kidnapped person be kidnapped, the guy will be nice, give the kidnapped person the food, and then the kidnapped person will be like, this person, he ain't that bad.
Yeah,
stuff like that. Like he's not as bad as
WWE is the personification of Stockholm syndrome. It's like you lock us in, you torture us for years on end, and then every now and again you do something nice, and we're back in love with you again, even though you're still our captors, and we know you're gonna treat us bad right after. It's like a bad relationship.
Yeah, exactly. 100% agree. But yeah, it's like that's what WWE is now. Like you feel like all is lost. Like you just feel like, God damn, this is bad. And it's like, for a lot of us who've grown up on the WWE, like everyone's like, oh, there's other wrestling for you to watch. It's like, but it's so hard when you watch something for so many years to just like try to watch something else. Like, and you know what I'm saying? It's like when you watch WWE for so long, it's just so hard to go into something else. It just feels such lower quality and say like, oh man, I can get into this. Like don't get me wrong, I dabble with ROH, I dabble with New Japan, I dabble with TNA. Well, I watch TNA, I just don't review it. But it's just like, still, it's so hard to kind of like.
WWE is the one thing that it's just like, I remember at one point, I don't remember when it was. I want to say maybe 2010 or so. I didn't watch wrestling for an entire year.
Yeah, it was all time for me, dude. Like I just stopped. Like it was after Mania 25. I just stopped.
What was going on? Because I can never remember the year exactly. What happened in 09? I don't remember if it was 09 or 2010.
Like 09 was just like, it was just like they were doing random ass stuff. Like, Cena would win the world title, and then Edge would win the world title, and then Jeff Hardy would win it. Like the best thing in 09 was Punk and Jeff Hardy. Like that was like the best thing.
After 09. I think I stopped watching right after the Jeff had the whole he was gone with restless leg syndrome or whatever, and then he never came back. And next thing he was back was on TNA, and I was just like, oh. And then I just stopped watching wrestling. I think the last thing I remember seeing and then stopping was I think it was JBL trying to feud with CM Punk.
Oh, dude, that's 08.
Is that 08?
That's 08, yeah.
Jeez, I can't even remember anymore.
That's 08, yeah. JBL and CM Punk did a feud after that. Like, after that, Punk was, doing, jobber straight edge society stuff.
Oh, yeah, the straight edge society stuff. Yeah, that was when I stopped watching because I really liked the straight edge society. When he had his head shaved and lost to Rey Mysterio and was losing to the Big Show and all that.
Yeah, he was doing jobber straight, and then the Nexus came, and they were good, and then they sucked.
God, then they got the Cena treatment. They got fed to the Cena machine.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's just I always tell wrestling fans, if you're upset with something, just take a break. Just watch. It's it's easier that way, and when you come back, you're a little bit more refreshed, recharged, and you're not always pissed off about things. Thing is, I would take a break, but it's just I got the YouTube channel that I enjoy doing, and it's kind of this YouTube thing kind of keeps me going and talking about this product sometimes. So
yeah, but the problem is now it amplifies how upset you get about something.
Yeah, exactly.
Because now I have to go talk about it, not because I want to talk, but I have to also cover this bad stuff. We can cover Miz now and how great he is and how great he is with the Miz all night long, but we still have to at some point talk about how the Divas are only getting these 5-second matches and the feuds that are going on, how they make no sense. So it's a love-hate relationship when you work on the internet or you do things on the internet and you're a fan of something, no matter what it is, but wrestling being one of them. Because that's something you literally you can be the biggest sports fan in the world, talk about and review every single sports game, but it's just that's sports. You got no control over that, but WWE is supposed to be claiming to listen to us and things like that. So when they tell us we have control, it's if you found out for a day you could just take control of LeBron James's body, then you'd probably feel a certain type of way about the wins and losses of his team. But it's not you can't. But WWE, they tell us that, hey, it's your universe. They call us the WWE universe. We're in control and things like that. And it's just they outwardly spit in our faces with certain things.
Yeah, we have no control of anything.
Yeah.
I think this has been good. We can wrap it up here.
Yep.
And we'll come back with this next week. We're going to be doing this a weekly thing on this channel with Tim. So pretty much every Monday, you guys can expect to hear my dumb ass talk about Raw with him. Yeah. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel down below, and I believe he'll have my channel link. And all my subscribers watching this, just know this is more in depth. Pretty much my next TLC and my Raw review, I'll be sure to plug that we're going to be doing this generic minority, so that we can get more views on this. Because frankly, I like doing the Raw reviews, but most of the time my Raw reviews have become abridged, and I do still like talking about wrestling in depth. And I liked doing the podcast with Generic Minority the one time that I did it, the Grumpy Cat episode. So hopefully we'll be able to get it where we can trim down some of the extra meat and talk about the main points of Raw, and then be able to like give you the best. This was like a good first step, and I feel like we're going to keep getting better. So yeah.
All right. Well, for everyone who listens to this, thanks for sitting with us for an hour and a half in whatever time zone you're in.
I was hoping this would go by quicker. I was like, man, can we go by quicker? I don't want to talk about no fucking terrible 6-man tag match.
We got caught up talking about Miz and Miz now for like a half hour.
Yeah, dude. That's what happens when you talk about the good stuff in wrestling. When there's good stuff in wrestling, I have no problem talking about that for a long time. It's the bad stuff that you just kind of like want
to gloss it over, but you know if you don't talk about it now, you're gonna have to talk about it later. So now that we've got this out of our system, hopefully we won't be as venomous next week.
Yeah, exactly.
But until then, it's Generic Minority signing off. And remember, together we can all be more generic. I think. Whatever.